Hello, everyone. This is Vanessa, also known as Damokran, here with you. My prompt for today's Get Messy May is Enchanted. Right now in Beijing, we are in the midst of spring season, and the cherry blossoms are absolutely incredible. And so I wanted to invite you for a little walk where we're going to just let ourselves be completely enchanted by the sights of these pom-pom flowers everywhere in the trees. It feels like the whole city is coming alive again. And the gift that these flowers are giving us, in both in terms of like a feast for our eyes and a feast for our noses, except for people who are allergic, of course. It's just such a gift, and it makes everything magical and whimsical and just brings a lightness to being that I haven't felt in a while. So I wanted to share this with you. So the first 2 minutes of my prompt for today is just like immersing ourselves in these gorgeous flowers. I just love how they are all together, compacted like that on the branches, and the contrast between the pink and that beautiful blue sky, the contrast between the pink and the branches, the luscious brown of the branches is really, I love it. So I am picking up some flowers that have fallen already. I am not picking them off the branches, obviously. And so for my prompt, what I would encourage you to do is go outside, find some flowers if you have them. If you don't, it doesn't have to be a floral thing. It can be anything that brings magic to your daily life. So this, for me, is a very short time in Beijing where everything is so exuberant, and I want to bring that to my art journal. So the first step we are doing is I'm going to press some of these beautiful flowers. So I split them into two piles, and the first pile I am putting in this book to press them, and I will leave them for a couple of days under a pile of other heavy books. And with the other flowers, I am putting them in between two pages of sketch paper. I try to have the full flowers that I picked up from the ground there, and then I'm going to get a hammer and smash them. I know that sounds a bit violent, but the idea here is to try to get imprints of the florals onto this paper. So I am doing this as I go along, so it may not, turn out the way I would like it to. We will see once I've started smashing, we'll see how these flowers end up looking. So as you just saw me briefly, I hit the whole paper with a hammer. The idea is to get the juices out of the florals onto the paper. I also used a rolling pin, but that didn't work as well as the hammer. So I would definitely recommend hitting with the hammer. So now we can set that aside so it can dry properly. And I'm opening up my Get Messy art journal to try and find a page that I want to work with. I am going to work with one of the pages that has a pocket. And so you will see how I integrate that to my spread. So the prompt is enchanted, and what I am going for is the idea of um, it's kind of like a gratitude jar, but instead of being a gratitude jar, it's an enchanted jar, a jar of whimsy, if you will. So I am using a brush pen, sorry, to sketch out some jars. So like think about mason jars, canning jars. When you open those up, right, what you get is like a whiff of the freshness of whatever's in that jar, right? It can be flowers, it can be some tea, it can be preserves, jams, fruit. So usually it's something that will make us feel enchanted either by looking at what is inside those glass jars or smelling it. And they will usually remind us of good times, summer memories or memories when things were fresh and vibrant. So this is what I want to recreate in my journal. the enchanted moments that I'm going through right now, looking at the florals that are bursting in the tree branches. So on this one side, I am drawing these wonky glass jars, and there will be another one on the other page. So just use whatever thick brush you would like to have some whimsical jars drawn in, and then we will use our florals to sort of showcase the enchanting moments that spring brings. So after a couple of days, I've let my flowers press, and I'm just showing you some of the material I've brought out for our jars of whimsy, enchanted whimsy, I should say. So I have some sequins and glitter, of course, some pale pink paint, my journal, and I will be bringing out these are the flowers that I smashed that I've cut out. I just kept my favorite ones. I really love how they look. It's like they're almost like pressed fairies. Sorry for the fairies, but they just turn out really whimsical and light. So I think they're really pretty. And then that book there, La Vie des Plantes, holds my florals that I pressed. We might encounter some different flowers that I pressed throughout the year. But I will find the beautiful blossoms, and then I will take those out and we will start to work on our jars of whimsy. So essentially, the effect that I'm going for is to have the idea of us having just opened these jars and to be completely enchanted by the smell, the look, the lightness of the florals emerging from them. So to do that, I'm just placing some of the pressed flowers onto my page, and using my fingers and the very light pink paint colors that I have. I am simply using them to make abstract little flower petals that are sort of wafting upwards, drifting upwards from. It's just imagine us having just opened the jar and now they're emerging from there. So I'm gluing in the sort of the pretty smashed petals that I did, and I'm gluing down the pressed flowers with just regular school glue. If you are worried about longevity and you want the pressed flowers to stay really beautiful, then you might want to use matte medium so that you can seal them in. But that's not what I'm going for right now. And then you can see I used the clear glue to make volutes, or sort of like lines that are coming out of the jar. And I'm placing sequins and glitters in the glue while it's still wet. And then once it's all dry and we're going to shake it off, you will see that there's these lines of glitter that are coming outward from the jar itself. You can be mindful if you're doing like a double page spread like I am, be mindful of having one of the lines continue on to the next page. That way it sort of brings the two sides of the spreads together. Even though there's the pocket there that could maybe divide those two pages, just by continuing the line from one to the other, there is that feeling that they're connected. So now the glue has dried and I can shake off some of the glitter, and you can really see the lines now of the enchantment that is emerging from these jars. I'm adding in a few individual petals using the glue once more, and I'm going to be repeating the same thing on the left side of the spread. So depending on what kind of enchantment you're documenting or bringing to your journal, you might not have the option of using flowers. In which case, you could draw some flowers. You could definitely work with different kinds of imagery like seashells, from being at the seashore, or it doesn't even have to be nature inspired or seasonal. You know, it can be stars, planets, it can be completely out of the ordinary. The idea is to have that feeling of opening up a jar and smelling something and just being completely enchanted by it. So, you know, I like to bring a lot of ritual and magic to my daily life. So this is one of the ways I do it, by paying attention to what surrounds me, what season I'm in, what season the world around me is, what are the colors that I can see. So there's many ways that you can go about this, and it doesn't have to be rational or you know, based in the season that you're finding yourself in wherever you are in the world. For example, if you're in the southern hemisphere, it could be the leaves changing color, and it could be the leaves that are falling from the trees that you want to bring to your enchantment jars. Now I'm going to shake off the extra glitter there. I always keep whatever glitter is left over. I use it on different projects, and I even make new mixes from whatever's on my art table. So now it's time to pay attention to this pocket here. So I'm starting by taking off a square piece. I've free cut it. And then you can see I have this page protector, photo page protector, left over from a different project that I'm going to be using to put inside the pocket. This is a dictionary page. It is a French English dictionary with the word enchanté. So being enchanted or enchantment. And so I'm going to be using that as the backdrop on which I'm going to put more of the flowers and glitter. So I'm bringing out my container of sequins. This one, it has hearts, and I think I'm going to be using some butterflies as well in pink and gold. So I'm just lifting up the top part of the page protector, adding the glitter. I'm making sure that it's not hiding any of the words that I want to be visible. And then I'm just decided if I'm going to add more flowers or just stick with the actual glitter. And actually what I do is I pick up the last of the petals that were left, and I'm just putting them in there. If you want, you can glue them. If you want, you can tape them using packing tape, which I'm going to be using to seal my page protector. But I decided I wanted the movement. I like the idea of the confetti or sequins and the petals moving around in this pocket. So I'm just sealing the three sides before putting it in, and then obviously it was kind of too big, so I had to cut off a piece of it and then reseal it. But once I did do that, it fits very nicely into my pocket. And so now is the fun part where you can add just the final details that you want to. I started with this really beautiful light pink gel pen, but it stopped working as I started. So I switched over to a more neon color. So, you know, that's part of the process. It's part of the way things sort of turn out, you know, when you let sort of the haphazard elements come in. And so I'm just adding a few sparkles here and there with my neon and using my signal broad to add kind of a center to the painted florals that I put in, and then it's complete. I hope you enjoyed walking through the beautiful floral trees and making these enchanted jars of whimsy. They were definitely a source of color and enchantment for me in my day.